Hello everyone, this is NHN Gaming and I'm back with another video of Suzerain. So last episode we just finished create uh Anton uh, background origin story. Um, so in this episode we're gonna go and delve right to the game and see what it has to offer. So let's just get straight into it. 2 weeks have passed since we won the election, and now I was about to be sworn in as the fourth president of Swortland. Continue. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name, Anton Rain. The die was cast. And then my story began. In the distance of the Maroon Palace, stood on top of the famous Hill of Pride. I have no way of knowing what future await me there. I looked at my family, my son and daughter. Frank and Diana were next to Monica, my wife. Her eyes were glimmering with pride. Then I turned towards the key people who made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in my government. I saw my previous rival and former president, Iwo Alfonso, who gave me a slight nod. Takinso was also invited, but as expected, he didn't leave his island retreat. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Also, Harker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was awaiting for me. So, cool things about Suzerain in general is, this little highlight, everything has its own codex. So whenever you guys see something of importance, you can just click on it, see the clear history. Like you can see Frank is our son, and then he's currently attending Holsford Maclean High School. Iwo Alfonso, the previous president, it's the codex has all the entries of all the significant character within the story. So I know all the character already. So basically, I have a better general knowledge of how the story is gonna go. But if you guys have the game itself, it's better if you just take the time to just observe the lore and the codex of each character, because it's very interesting for each of them. And sometimes I myself like to look at them too, to just remind myself where each character backstory, faction, and their motivation, and all that. It's all it helps make the game seems more real. So right now, the guy that's talking to us is also how he's from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So you can see right here, the whole backstory. So it makes his it makes every single character in the story seems very real, and they have a role to play in the story, no matter how minor. The time has come for the oath. I am ready. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will be respectfully execute the office of the President of Swortland, and to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend. To the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the people and the Constitution of the Republic of Swortland. You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President. Thank you. Dear citizen, crowd look very eager to listen to me. So I want to go with a more kind of hopeful speech, more positive speech. So I would say change and hope. You, the people, have chosen together. We will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. It is a time of hope. It is a time of change. If we stand together, we prevail. In the past, there have been times of survival, times of conflicts and economic hardships too. But whenever we stood together, we prevail. So let's see. I think picking one is a good choice because right now the current issue with Scotland right now is the economic recession. Because in the beginning of the story it was mentioned that Alfonso, the previous president, some of his policy of deregulation kind of messed up the economy and kind of slowed down the economic growth of the country. So right now, I think the people don't really. Anyway, the constitutional change and democratization and it's also an important issue right now. But I mean, the glaring issue right now is, the poverty and the recession. So I think I think getting rid of this first is a major issue to deal with each of this deal with the late issue. So yeah, I would say I pick one. I promise you we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. Change now, not in the next decade of years today. 100,000 cheered, they were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and burden all at the same time. I would just wave. Took a long look, people of Scotland, to burn this moment into my memory. When the presidential guard came to notify me that it was time to leave, I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Cadillac with flags of Scotland above the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. Sir J. Wagner. Hello, Mr. President. I still felt euphoric from the aftermath of my speech. My new title made me smile even more. If you allow me to introduce myself, I am Sarge, your new driver. So, Sarge is our driver and bodyguard, so he's doing two jobs. Now, Sarge is a good man. He's a very good man, and despite having a very minor role in the story, he it's kind of a MVP in itself. Like, I don't want to spoil you guys yet, but try to be as nice to him as possible throughout the story because, I mean, you'll see, but like, overall, a pretty upstanding guy. You see his, like, codex background, everything. He's generally a very good man. A working man, a family man. Your average everyday worker, but despite that, like, even though his role is very minor within the story, you can still see that the codex gives him a full background, so it makes you feel like, he's not a person within the story, not just like a background character, not a non-NPC, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, just be as nice as you can, because he's a good guy. Sarge's a good guy. If you allow me to introduce myself, I am Sarge, your new driver. Nice to meet you. It's an honor. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing inside, and I entered the car. We will be heading towards the palace. The motorcade began to move. On the way, Sarge proceeded to explain his duties as a driver. As minutes passed by, I found myself lost in thoughts again, barely paying attention to what he was saying. He suddenly peered out the window. Isn't it a beauty, the Maroon Palace? The Maroon Palace is like it's basically this world White House, basically. So, yeah, see, it's where the executive branch of the Swedish government take place. And, so it's basically the White House of Sortland. He was right, sunlight glint off the palace's many maroon-colored domes was so that I had to look away. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded of my duty to this nation. So do I. It's the beating heart of the nation after all. Well said, Mr. President. The car drove past the majestic gates, continued uphill to the entrance, and stopped in front of the door. Serge got out of the car and opened the door for me. Have a great day, Mr. President. A Magna Westcourt. He referred to the famous Swedish phrase from the time of revolution, Magna Westcourt Vecten Sista, which meant morning will come, victory is close. Yeah, Vecten. So a little interesting trivia about the Swedish language. So the developer of the game is, I think they were Turkish. Basically, because Sortland is based on real life Turkey, so a lot of like the current issue that Sortland experienced is similar to how Turkey was experienced when it was founded. Like the transition from a monarchy to a republic. It was very similar to Turkey because during the 20th century, after World War I, Turkey was undergoing a transitional period of time where the Ottoman Empire ended, and then it transitioned into the Republic of Turkey, and we have Ataturk. Ataturk was one of the very famous people in Turkey that basically transformed the nation into the modern Turkey we see today. So Ataturk is very similar to Seoul within the story right now. He's Ataturk was a general in World War I, and then he leads the Turkish War of Independence. He reunite Turkey and managed to kind of turn it into a modern nation. So overall, like, if you guys are interested more about like history, I mean the Sortland situation in the story is very similar to the origin of Turkey. So you guys read up more about it. You find a lot of parallel between the two countries. So anyway, the language I think has similar meaning to Turkish. So from what I know. So yeah, just a little trivia for you guys. So I say, yeah, victory is close. Vecten Sister. I made my way upstairs to the extravagant corridors of the palace. Marble and engraved wooden finish the decorated interior. Alright, so I'm just gonna take a brief look at the overall situation. So as you can see, like, this is the whole map of the game. So after 2.0 update, I mean, a lot of things are pretty similar. Like, because before 2.0 update, they didn't have this newspaper up here. Didn't have the portrait of the family. So all these are new, new stuff, like new UI. So it makes all this make it looks more like you are the president of the country. it makes you feel like you are in charge of a nation. Like this is your table, this is the current map of everything. And also, before the 2.0 update, you can't really move the map that much. Like you can't really see other countries. Like you only see Vexland, Bloomberg, acknowledge like your neighboring country. But now with the map expansion, you can see more of the world around. So I'm learning about this firsthand right now. So I'm gonna take some time just to read through all of this, all of the changes. So yeah, because in the beginning, before the 2.0 update, because you have Scotland right here. This is our country. It's where the story takes place. Oh, you can zoom in now too. See, so this is Scotland. This is our nation, the country we're running. So as you click on it, it shows like minor region and all that stuff. Then in the past of the so in the before the 2.0 update, the map looks like this. You can't zoom out at the bigger world. It just looks like this. But I do want to see the whole world though. So we have Scotland. Then we have Vexland. Vexland is this world is a communist in nature. So right now Vexland is communist. Agnolia is a democracy, capitalist country. Lesbia is also a capitalist democratic country. Wayland is a socialist country, but the difference between Wayland and Vexland is Vexland is kind of more of a democracy. So it's a communist country, but it's a democratic. It's run democratically. There's election being held, and in theory it's functioning pretty well. But Wayland is a different story. Wayland is similar to real world, kind of like Syria and Iraq, in that they adopt some socialistic policy. They adopt some of the leftist program, but overall it's a dictatorship. It's a nationalist. It's a hybrid of a lot of things. Say Wayland is interesting in the sense that it's very nationalist, but it's also very left leaning in certain policy. But it's also pretty xenophobic and kind of it's a dictatorship in general. The president that's running this country has a cult of personality and everything. So Wayland's an interesting country by itself. And Roomberg is our arch rival in the story. Alright. Kingdom of Roomberg is massive. They're equivalent to real world Russia, basically. Like just Roomberg is just Russia of this universe. You see more countries here: Mark and Nisha, baronies of Soratis. So you have the Kingdom of Risia. So Risia will be a DLC later on in the game, and it's a country that's next to Lesbia and it's next to Wayland, because Wayland is here. So I'm interested to see what the DLC has to offer. But I'm gonna read some of the codex of each country because I'm excited to see what's the info of each of these countries, because I didn't see this in the before the 2.0 update. So Anchor and Go. Kingdom of Brasilia, Anchor and Go. So it's a member of Grace, Royal Allies for Commercial Exchange. Okay, Monarch. OMAC. AN, Alliance of Nations, and my most country on Earth focus on. So relation is neutral. Military is very weak. Population 40 million. GDP will rank. King, Rome is Torah. Yeah, you guys, as okay. So when you're clicking on country, you guys can see that, the relation of each country in adjacent to Scotland. So right now, because I explained earlier, Roomberg is a rival of Scotland. So as you can see, we have strained relation with this country. So unfriendly, but their military is overwhelming. They have a population of 121 million, fourth highest economy. It's a monarchy, constitutional monarchy. Yeah, OMEC is similar to OMEC in this world is similar to like the World Trade Organization. So OMEC is just once you're in OMEC, it's easier for you to trade with other nations in general. Yeah, and it's a member of Grace, so all of the monarchies, so Roomberg and Rizia are in Grace. So like all the monarchies are within this program, so they can foster better economic relation. Yeah. So let's see, Rizia. Listen. Because I was trying to see if you can read a codex on Rizia, but it doesn't give me that option. So, but if you go to Roomberg, you're going to see more of the country. So you can see there's a whole info dump, like a whole lore of the country. So, I'm not going to read it right now. It's just that it's a lot of info and I don't want to bore you guys, but I mean, I read it already, so I kind of already have an idea of how the country is. But I will read it on my own free time. So, let's see. So all of these little pop-ups is like notification, like to like the current how each nation reacting to your country. So. And then this is the news, so that's separate from, because all of this is just different nation reaction to your country. So whatever policy you enact, it has a domino effects in the surrounding area. So yeah, it makes so all the choices you make are it's pretty impactful, like and then you have the government budget, you have your own personal wealth. So earlier during the character creation, you have three options. You can come from a low income family, middle income family, and a high income. So I picked middle income. So your starting wealth is gonna be 2. I think if you have high income, it's gonna be like 3 or 4. I forgot. And low income is like 1. So the wealth has an impact on your gameplay because it can help. Let's say you try to lobby, you try to donate or get re-elected. Wealth has a role to play in affecting the story. The government budget we have a 7 surplus right now. So it's just, so any policy that you enact in the country of Scotland, let's say you want to build an infrastructure, throughout the story, you make a decision, you want to build a railway infrastructure program in this area. It's gonna take a certain amount of budget. So throughout the game, it's a point for you to try to balance your budget, enact good policy that can grow your budget at the same time, lower unemployment and grow the country's GDP. Let's see, and economic growth. So right now we're in a recession, so it's pointing downward. So before the 2.0 update, we didn't even have this to show the trend of the economy. So having this is a good indicator. So it's good to keep track of how well you're doing with your decision. So this is just a national map. And you can see your own countries here. So has some codex. So yes, long codex. See, so yeah. So you know, I'm gonna read in my free time, but it's just a lot to. It's a lot of info dump, basically. But I try to summarize it as much as I can to you guys. You know, because I played the game previously before, but you know, I'm still learning new things too. Because from this update, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't seen yet myself. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just gonna open event. The Occasion Treaty Organization (ATO) is a cooperative military alliance that encompasses 40 member nations. Acacia. So Acacia in this world is basically the U.S. So the ATO is basically NATO of this world. So it has 14 nations. So right now in this universe, in Suzerain universe, there's a cold war between Acacia and I forgot the nation's name, but it's basically like this world is good. This universe has its own cold war right now between two major superpower, and Swordland is kind of like in between of all of that. So early in the story we align with the West, so we probably gonna align more with Acacia, ATO. So capitalist structure, Copa. Yeah, so read the report. Oh, I'm drawing my attention. Let's find a glowing gun. Regions worldwide where humans rank most indentions, shading lines. Yeah, so this is just a human rights report from like the ATO nations in regard to Macopa. So Macopa is the communist bloc of this universe. So you have Macopa, Rica, and Southern Contana. So all of them are communist countries. So this report is kind of condemning like the human rights abuse of those like left-wing countries. But I mean, the report could be true and could be false because you know, the report is, you know, if you smear the leftist countries through this human rights report saying that, oh yeah, like those countries are bad and they need to be liberated, you know, it's part of the Cold War, so both sides they play propaganda against each other. So part of the reports could be true, part of it could just be propaganda. So you know, you have to read between the lines. So it doesn't necessarily means that, you know, there's human rights abuse in Macopa, Rica, or Cantana. It's just that the report is written by a biased point of view that's from the ATO. So you know, you guys gonna see throughout the game. It's not as black and white in each of these issues. So you have to read between the lines as to why certain nations they do what they do, because it's, you know, everything is real politics. You know, most countries are not run by ideologies, mostly run by what does it benefit them, their country, you know, what kind of trade, what kind of advantage deal they can have out of it, you know. So yeah, it's not really black and white. That's what I like about Suzerain. It's very complicated, just like real world. So there's no right and wrong issue. It's just whatever is good for that country. Congratulations from President Smolak. President Smolak sent his congratulations on the election victory and wished for the cooperative future between Wayland and Swortland, signaling a desire to normalize the diplomatic. Yeah. So he's just writing me a congratulation. So, you know, Republic of Wayland, we have a neutral relation with them. So the president, Smolak, he's basically this world Saddam Hussein, because I read his codex, his origin, background is very similar to Saddam Hussein. So you guys go to Wikipedia and just read up on Saddam. You can find some similarity between the two of them. But I already read his codex before, but I'm gonna reread it later on my own free time just to refresh my memory. But pretty slimy guy in the story. He's a pretty slimy type of guy, but he's smart in his own way. So Espia, our neighboring country. Congratulations from Prime Minister Alvarez. Congratulated you for the result and spoke about his hope to have a beneficial partnership deal in the future. He sent his best wishes to the Swedish people and warned us about the threats of the encroaching Millennialist influence of United Cantana from the east, emphasizing the importance of unity in our continent, Makopa. So United Cantana is this world version of the USSR. So, you can read the codex, basically Leon Maleyev, I'm gonna butcher his name, I'm not gonna say it, but it's too long. But anyway, he's this world version of Lenin, but he's, this is what if Lenin survived and run the USSR. So United Cantana is not as oppressive as the real world USSR, because in the real world USSR was run by Stalin after Lenin died. But this is a what if Lenin survived and he run the USSR in his own way. So United Cantana is basically a what if version of our real life, basically. So as you keep playing on the game, you're gonna see a lot of real world similarity, and you guys can draw a connection to it. If you guys love history, you guys love geopolitics, this is great for you guys. But yeah, Leon, you can read his background. He's still in the story, and he's still living. So he's active within the story, and you will see him later on. But yeah, and he developed his own theory, millennialism. So millennialism is basically this world version of communist theory, but it's kind of like similar to Trotsky active revolution. So I mean, I can go, that's be a separate video, but it's just it's a lot of reading, you guys can see, it's but I try to give you guys a summary of it as I go on. But okay, let's see, Magnolia, so a neighboring country to the north. So Prime Minister Van Hoen congratulated us on our election and praised our party's stance on trust and transparent election. He signaled his wishes to continue the trade partnership between our countries as equal partners, as opposed to earlier trade deals which he believed gave Swortland unfair advantages. Okay. Backsland. Chancellor Hagel sent his congratulations on our great victory and wished for close cooperation between our countries in the future. Signal concession from Backsland in case of promising trade deal. He also congratulated the Swedish democracy for the successful election and warned us about the threat of Caucasia, growing influence posed for Eastern Makopa. So Caucasia, as I mentioned, is this world version of the USA. So, and Makopa is the continent we are on right now. We're in Eastern Makopa. So Yeah, so this is the Warsaw Pact. So Containment Security Pact is this world version of the Warsaw Pact, you know. And then, as mentioned, that's in the east, and then this is basically NATO version of the story, ATO. So, and we're like in the middle of the two great power, as you can see. So yeah, who will you align with? East or west determine the outcome of your countries. Yeah, so let's see. Go to the national map. So if it has this icon, it means this there's a major decision you can make within the story, and each of the cities here all have their own information like the GDP, the population, ethnicity. So yeah, all this is new because back then, before the update, when you click on a city, it only gives you like the it only gives you the codex entry. But now, after the 2.0 update, it gives you. See, like, so I know that this city is a communist stronghold, like, because it's run by a mayor from the Communist Party of Switzerland. It has a population amount. It has a religion pie chart and ethnicity pie chart. Yeah, all this is new. I didn't see this before the 2.0 update. So it gives you an idea of, like to see. Yeah, it gives you an idea of like, let's say your party is your current party is USP, so it gives you like idea of like which area is more aligned with which parties, which region is more supportive, so right now, Sweden is divided into different regions like Oxford, Lauren, Rooney, Kletsland, Gaelland, Bergia, Norgis, Agland. So Agland used to be part of Agnolia. From what I remember, there was a war between the two countries, and we managed to take control of this area. So there's a lot of Agnolia in this region, and the region of Bergia is interesting because there's a big minority within our country of Scotland. So there's a large population of Blundish. So in this region, so Blundish are kind of like a small minority within Scotland, but there's a significant minority within like around 10-20%, but they are mistreated pretty badly, like and ethnic tension, racism, and affects them on a daily basis. So Bergia is mostly not home for like the Blundish. As you can see, like Blundish 60%. Yeah, see Blundish. Yeah, so majority of population in these cities are Blundish. Or they make up they make up a large minority. Yeah, in comparison to other cities, like yeah, Swedish. So this is like the home region, the capital region. So ethnic tension kind of affects how each region is being run, and let's see. The mayor of Arvory, Eric New, reports lack of adequate infrastructure around Arvory, which seriously undermine the attractiveness of Arvory investment climate. Foreign investors, particularly from Magnolia, are becoming hesitant to invest in the city. Low production in Agland. The period goes on to alarming low level of productive growth in the region of Agland, where there are also high rates of food insecurity, malnutrition, and rural poverty in the inner parts of the region. Port of La Chavan lose importance. Latest marine traffic report shows that the port of La Chavan is no longer the busiest cargo per continent, falling behind to the third position. While this is a negative indicator of our administration, La Chavan still has the potential to shine again as a major trading center. Port of Sortland and host trading center. Okay, got that. So I think we read all the major pops up from each city. So Akron is lacking in investment. It tends to be a backward region within Sortland, within the story. But maybe you can change that, through a decision. Let's read the news. So, like in real life, each of the news here have their own bias. So, The Economist is very right wing. So think of it as like a conservative newspaper. It's like this, it's like in real life we have Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. All of them, have political leaning in their reporting. So just like in real life, all the newspaper all have their own separate leaning. Economist is very right wing newspaper. The Radical is very left wing. Geopolitics is kind of neutral because it's just discussing the event of foreign countries. So not necessarily saying, because all these newspapers kind of like wants the president to act in a certain way that fit in their political ideology. So let's just take a brief look and see Economist and Solonomics. Anyway, so the last 2 4 years found planned auction for a budget deficit and a clear reduction on industrial production output. Inefficient bureaucracy, the next year on growth, budget balance productive index value indicate that the two most productive consecutive years have been the privatization program of Alfonso. Okay. Otherwise, he could find himself in the same spot talking so in the mid 40s. So, structure and infrastructure. Warming up to the idea of source of growth and employment. So, economists basically saying, and planning, let the free market determine the growth of the country. So it's very, as you can see, it's very right wing. Because the second president of Sortland, he ran his country in a planned economy center, but he's not left wing. He's left wing in his economic policy, but he's very right wing in terms of his like domestic policy. Yeah, it's kind of like similar to National Socialists in a sense, like so of course economists would totally object to any kind of planned economy. The Radicals, on the other hand, hates the idea of having a USP president again. We've seen this before with Colonel So. Yeah, so the Radicals just hate the USP. It's just saying that, hey, it's the same type of people within the same party that keeps re-electing the same, because in the story right now, Sortland has had 4 presidents. So Anton Rain is the 4th president of Sortland. Then you have Alfonso, that's the 3rd. So is the 2nd. and Victor Vissi was the first, but all of them were from the US. Well, I mean, the first president wasn't from any party, but from so onward, like all the presidents have been from the USP. So, and this is basically what they criticize, just like, oh, like it's from the same party, like we don't have like true democracy. So, the last 7 times, new assembly begins duty. President Anton Wayne has been elected 4th president of Scotland in the 7 Swedish elections. The United Scotland Party has won the election on Sunday, which is over 37% of the vote, while Franz Richter, the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, could gain just over 20%. Saro Kibner, the head of the right-wing National Front parties, in 3rd place with just over 11%. The Communist Party of Scotland and the Workers' Party of Bloody are both below, failing to pass. Yeah, because right now in the Grand National Assembly, which is Congress of this world, we have the majority of the votes, so we can pass most of the law. Because most of the smaller parties don't have enough votes, don't have enough like presence within the wing to override the majority. So. The office, 37 of the vote came from last minute. Yeah, so post campaign bill. Yeah, so it's just reporting what we said earlier. So yeah, overall, I know that we didn't really do a lot in this episode, but you know, I just kind of want to give you guys a general overview of the world and how, you know, how any decision that you make later on in the story can affect each country's and your surrounding region and your own countries. So each of the region in your country, it all affects everything. So you know, so in the next episode, I hope you know we will start going over all of our decision and go over like what possibly we will enact to run Scotland and to turn the economy from recession to a growing economy, and maybe navigate ourselves, you know, to be in a more advantageous position in terms of world politics. And again, you guys, thanks for watching my video, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. Peace out.